Hello, my lovelies. Hello. Good evening to you. It's Saturday evening, 10th of October. I think it's the 10th anyway. If it's not, correct me, put it in the comments. But yeah, I seem to lose time when I'm in my little capsule at home. As usual, I've been thinking over the week and I just thought I'd share some insight that had occurred to me. I think it's an insight. It may be useful, and I hope it is, because that's the reason why I share, in the hopes that it is useful. So, my wonderful, wonderful, divine, melanated feminine. If you've been with me for a while, you know some of the things I've commented on in my videos. And again, I'm back on the relationship thing, because it's quite important to us, isn't it? Our relationship to ourselves, more often than not, is expressed through our relationships with others. And it's what we see in our relationship with others that actually is usually an indication of the things that we need to look at and heal and pay attention to. But again, if you've been with me a while, you'll know that obviously I've stated that a lot of it, our programming, comes from, the soil that we were planted in as seeds, so to speak. And one of the ways to our progress and healing is to be able to see and look at how the subconscious mind is programming is to behave in certain ways and attract certain energies and play out certain dynamics in our lives. And then that's when we can come into healing and wholeness, and then step into the kind of expanded feeling of that we know is we should be able to feel, and not feelings or relationships or dynamics that are one-sided, or where we feel like our needs are not being met, or we feel there's manipulation or there's pain or any of that. Okay. And this week my mind was very much on, well, how do we as divine melanated feminines, especially if we were divine melanated feminines in households where a male figure or energy was absent. Now, that absenteeism doesn't necessarily mean that they were physically absent. They could have been emotionally absent. For many of us, they may well have been physically absent. How are we to know what the template of masculinity and maleness looks like if we haven't had that as an energy and an example within our lives? And even if that person was physically there, if they were emotionally not available, because many of us have had upbringings that were quite challenging in some ways because of many of us had to grow up really, really fast. And so as a result, we weren't really allowed to be children, and then our needs weren't met and all of that. I've done all that before. And if you're not sure what I've said about that, then check out the other videos. Similarly, for the divine masculine, if they were in homes where masculinity, male, divine masculine, was absent, either physically or emotionally, then they too didn't have any kind of positive template of what masculinity and maleness looks like, feels like, and how that expresses itself. So it occurred to me that we, the divine feminine, in that scenario, are in search of daddy. Yeah? We're trying to reclaim and recover the love, the attention, the affection, the nurturing, the acknowledgement that we didn't get from daddy. Similarly, many of the male counterparts, the divine masculine, is probably doing the same thing. And for them, it may well be doubly so, because if the male is absent, whether physically, emotionally, psychologically, and most of their nurturing is being done by the feminine, if the feminine is, say, a single parent, then she may well have been physically absent a lot of the time as well. So the masculine is then bereft of the male image and the male template, but also is not getting the nurturing and perhaps the attention that he requires to grow into strong, healthy, straight, and I don't mean sexually straight, I mean, kind of like a straightened, whole, secure version of his manhood, because the feminine is not there either. Or she's a feminine. And at the end of the day, he's got to learn manhood and what it means to be male and to be a man and how that is expressed from another man, ideally. So it occurred to me that it's no wonder that many of our relationships are not succeeding in the way we would like them to, because we've got this double whammy, really. We're not getting our needs met. We're being told that our emotions don't matter. The comments that I've mentioned in the videos, like I want, never get, and I'll give you something to cry about, and all of that. So many of us are suppressing, pushing down, ignoring whatever it is we're doing. We are not going there when it comes to emotions and needs, because we are not allowed to. And for many of us, that may well have been a dangerous situation. Similarly, for the divine masculine. Okay? Then on top of that, we're trying to navigate growing into womanhood and relating to the divine masculine, and we don't have a template for what that looks like, or more importantly, what that feels like. What does that feel like? And we don't know what it is we can come to expect from the divine masculine. And absolutely the same for the divine masculine. He has no idea how to express his emotions, his needs, his likes and dislikes. He too does not know how to set boundaries, because we're being brought up similarly. And then he too is devoid of his masculine template, doesn't know how that is meant to express itself in a healthy way. And then if he's also got the absence of the divine feminine, or a divine feminine who could be like one of the others we mentioned, who was perhaps emotionally cold, shut down, the sexual anorexic type mother, then again, he's not getting a positive experience of the divine feminine. So how can these two very, very injured and hurt and kind of lost individuals hope to come together and stand any chance of providing and creating a healthy, supportive, nurturing, loving relationship that is going to have balance and allow both of them to express who they are fully, be supported in that? How are they to come together and trust? So it just occurred to me that the divine feminine, many of we divine feminines, we're in search of daddy. And similarly too, the divine masculine is in search of daddy, and may well be in search of daddy and mummy. And that's a lot of trauma. So the point of this video is to say, look, pull back and look at it. The key to moving forward in a healthy way, and if you're in partnership, maybe this is something you can look at together and then start to open up the discussion as to how you get into a better space of communication, more support, a space where both of you feel like you can express exactly who you are, but more importantly, relate to each other intelligently, respectfully, in a nurturing fashion. Discuss your expectations, discuss your love languages, and then come to some of a greater understanding. If you're on your own, then it's probably a little easier in some senses, because you can then basically just turn the spotlight on yourself and start to look at, there will be patterns. If you've had several significant relationships in your life, there's probably one or two things or one or two characteristics that are coming up within the people that you've had, or in the terms of the dynamic that you had with these people, that are resurfacing. Start to have a look at them and start to think, okay, where did that come from? Where might I have gotten that? And where was I not? It might be easier to start with where you felt you were not being satisfied, where you felt you were not able to express who you were. And why is that? What energy is there? Are there kind of similar characteristics in the kinds of energies that you've been attracting to yourself? And if that's okay and you like that, cool, keep that. But what are the energies that you were attracting that you didn't like? And then start to have a look at that. But more importantly, forgive yourself, because we can't move forward until we heal. Divine masculine, divine feminine. And healing is the heart center. The heart center is the middle of the 7 chakras, yeah? The other 3 go up and the other three go down the other way. So when you heal the center of everything, then that radiates out and heals everything else. Many of us have financial issues or have had, maybe it's up and down, maybe it's feast and famine, not consistency. A lot of that is to do with our heart center, because we're not healed, we're not balanced. And so there's this push and pull, there's this undeservingness going on. And that then means that our financial and other types of abundance are not stable for us. So it's pulling in and looking at the heart center and how we can heal that heart center that is going to allow us to actually expand and fully heal. And then you'll be surprised how everything else falls away really, really, really quickly. And then all that energy starts to come back. Reclaim the pieces of yourself. Look at yourself and look at where your needs are not being met. And then look at, how can I make a shift? What is it I need to do in order to have that happen? And it all starts with you. We can't stop looking outside yourself as that something is going to fix you. Stop looking for daddy and looking for mummy, because it's not them that's going to help. It's not them that's going to fix you. You have to be the hero in your own story and fix yourself. And if that means pulling in, taking time for yourself, quietening yourself for a few days, a week, months, however long it takes, and just really taking a look at where these things are occurring, and then forgiving yourself. Because you know what? You're amazing, and you were doing the best that you could do with everything that you knew at the time. And you know what? Some of us are absolutely fantastic considering some of the starts and some of the things that have been going on in our lives as divine melanated feminines, especially in a predominantly a system where we are other. Yeah? So forgive yourself, first of all. Get rid of the guilt. Get rid of beating yourself up. Get rid of blame as well. Yeah? Go inside and do the forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Forgive everything else and everybody else that you think may have contributed to where you are now. And just be thankful that where you are now means that you have the opportunity to make it better tomorrow and start all over again. I hope that's helped. I hope that's made sense, because I know I don't script these things and I can ramble a little bit. But hey, I just wanted to say I love you guys. I hope it's useful. I hope it's been food for thought. But yeah, stop looking for daddy, okay? Because daddy didn't know where the hell he was anyway. And look for yourself. Be the hero of your own story. Thank you. I've been Pauline Tomlin, Insightful Angel. Bye.